Shucks, my name is Carmen, and I am someone who needs to have a plan for the future. So it frightens me to hear that 80% of college students change their majors. What if there was a way to lower this percentage and in turn lower the stress of incoming college students? Me, Grace, and Stapleton are here to inform you about the benefits of offering a job shadowing course.
So the structure of the class would be seniors only, as well as taking your core classes in the morning or in the afternoon, depending on when the internship would be. The LCA would create this through partnerships within the own community. So for example, medicine, business, law, and education would be found within businesses, within our own culture, within the parents and stuff. So this would also be monitored weekly through an electronic timesheet so we could manage the hours.
So by offering a job shadowing course, we would allow students to utilize their time, have a better idea of what career field they want to go into, and this would also strengthen their college applications, as well as be a marketing point for LCA by attracting students and prospective parents that want their students to have hands-on experience in the work field, and this would also create future connections after college.
We surveyed 70 students from LCA, and 100% were in favor of this new exciting idea. Job shadowing is a great opportunity for students to gain experience and knowledge of what they want to do in the future. We hope you consider this for our school's future generations. Any questions?
When would you like to see this class offered? When in the school day, when in the school year?
I think it would be, it would work either way as just a semester course or a full year. I think ideally full year. And I think typically most jobs it would work best to just leave right after lunch, given that they fill out all of their core classes. So let's say they still need to go to the 5th hour and then leave after 5th hour. That would be manageable also. But we even thought if some jobs required you to work in the early morning, it would be a morning thing and then you come to school for the last half of the day. So that is going to depend and vary, but I think early on once you start offering this, this would only be a second half of the day course. And I think full year.
So in your minds, this is something that you're done, you do completely outside of school. There's really no dedicated teacher, so to speak, to this during the school day.
Well, ideally we would have an administrator come in and kind of be over the regulation of your hours worked as well as the communication within the partnerships. I guess that's up to you guys, but
Okay.
basically within the subcategories of potential career interests, we would also create a connection there that administrator could reach out to for any further questions.
So are you finding your own placement, or is that going to be someone's job in the school that needs to find it for you?
Well, we were thinking about like LCA would make partners with people, maybe like since a lot of our parents kind of own their own businesses, they can partner with businesses that our parents own, or maybe outside companies. And these companies would like send in like a weekly report or something about like how we do and like what we've done and if it meets like their needs and everything.
And just to tag on with that, I think it would be a little bit of both, to where if you have a job that's a little bit more odd, then you would search and seek out the business and then approach the school with that to get it approved and all of that. But other than that, I think the school should provide the core jobs out there like law and medicine and all that. I think they should seek those kind of jobs, but it would go both ways depending on the circumstances.
You all talked to other students from other schools that have done these type of things?
Yes.
What
I have
models would you like?
I have a friend actually who leaves, she goes to Dunbar and she leaves school every day, I think, after lunch, and she goes to work at her job. I can't remember where she works, but she really enjoys it, and she thinks it like has really helped her grow closer to like the administrators there and just help her with her work experience, which is really good too.
And my brother did it through Henry Clay. He's a senior. He really enjoyed it.
So through Henry Clay versus Dunbar. Dunbar has a block schedule, A-B day. Henry Clay had more of a 6th period day.
Yes.
How did he fit his in?
He,
versus-
basically going there, he had majority of his credits, so he just had to complete a few core classes in the morning and a set to go for the rest of the day.
And where did he go?
Henry Clay High School.
No, for the job.
Sorry. He actually worked through my grandfather, so he was doing like rental management and house stuff.
So he was your grandfather's errand boy.
Yes, he was.
Is this something students would receive a grade for, or you keep referring to it as a job? Are they getting paid for the time they spend there?
Well, yeah.
Depending on the circumstance, if you have a continuing job, I certainly don't see the point in kind of hindering the student's ability to work by tagging on another internship. I think if you should have the opportunity to leave school early to pursue that job. But instead, students who maybe aren't working or who would like to pick up a second thing, I think an internship would also be an equal option where they could get a little bit more experience for a potential college major choice.
Who did you say you're offering this to? Seniors only? Just seniors?
Yeah, just seniors.
And then before you said too that, the administration would help set this up. So there's about 115 of you all. That's a lot of placement areas.
What we had for this was a specific application process to get accepted. So I'm
Okay.
thinking it would only be about 30% of the senior class that is actually allowed to do it. So you would need, similar to what you do for student council, where you have teacher recommendation, a certain GPA to show that you are disciplined and that you are ready to leave the school and make mature decisions. And just an overall interview, and just to show that you are going to handle it seriously. So it wouldn't be for the entire senior class.
Yeah.
And also
So-
the entire senior class can't, they don't have room in their schedule, so that would
Right.
be the other interval.
Because you could do, you're giving us a little bit different structure for something we can already, because you could do some of these things now.
Yes, and our problem when we got approached with this prompt was we have seen a handful of students already do this, but it hasn't really been a laid out availability. When I was scheduling my course and everything, that wasn't really an option. It's been like unique people that have come to the school and approached it that way. So what we're promoting is to have it more of a regulated thing where it's more available, and more of a distinct class, and with the school reaching out to other internships available.
Very good.
There's something that, just in your last comment there stated about an application process.
Yes.
The student that probably doesn't have the GPA is probably the student that wants to go and do some type of
Yes.
internship. So we would almost be keeping them handicapped from going and doing the internship, which they might be passionate about and might like.
Mhm.
We're saying, no, you gotta stay here at school and keep doing the thing that you're frustrated about and beating your head against the wall.
And I think
So
that's
how do we
something we would
overcome that?
I think that's something we would have to work out as a school and see, start it new and make it a little bit strict at first, and then see how it goes under that regulated thing, and then maybe broaden it out a little bit more, is I think would be the most effective.
And I feel like we could look at it, like it's not just GPA or grades, like we look at like their discipline and everything, and like, so it's not just their GPA, it would be a more holistic approach to their application, so.
Do you have any questions, Avery?
I do not. Believe it or not, we've heard this.
Yeah, you've heard this one, yeah.
If you all were gonna do that, what would be some of the places that you would go? What would be your top two choices?
One example, I think this goes with a marketable point for LCA would be, we've got Booker T as a sister school already. So let's say I want to go into the educational field. We already have a partnership made with Booker T. We already have close relations with the principal and administration there. So I could go over there and be a teacher's assistant or help maybe work with that prime time like situation and get my fulfillment there. So that's just an example.
What about you, Carmen?
Well, this is kind of, my dad, owns his own like sports marketing agency. I know a lot of people who would like to go into that field. I have a lot of friends who would like that, and he's always looking for like new people to come in because he loves just like getting people to know what he does, and because they usually end up liking it, and so he wants more and more people to come into his field and like enjoy it like he's enjoying it. So I think that would be an option as well.
Tuesday.
I already have a job. I work at the fitness studio my mom owns. So right now, my situation is where I'm working on Thursday nights, a school night, and then I'm working Saturday mornings. And it would just be a lot better for me if I could start my work day earlier on weekdays and also feel less stressed to balance the schoolwork and that if I had less classes. So I think that would be really beneficial. And then another thing that we were also talking about is if some students have to put more their own money towards college, this would be a great alternative if they can make some money during school to put towards college.
Do you feel like it helps your mom's schedule if you do it during the day versus at night on Saturday? Or is it set up currently? Are you more beneficial to her?
Yeah, hers is a small business, so what my role is a desk person, kind of secretary-ish, and there's really only one secretary at a time, so we have a manager that does work in the mornings, but there's subs always needed, and they have asked for subs in the mornings, and they've also asked for subs on weeknights that I don't work, and I'm like, oh, I really need the money, or oh, I really want to do this, but I have so much homework and other, just life.
And I feel like a lot of people who want to hire high school students, they're only available at the end of the day, and making them available earlier gives them a better opportunity to hire more people or hire people.
And to tag along that, I want to go into medicine. There have been so many opportunities for high school students to intern at Central Baptist and St. Jude and even UK, just to kind of connect there. But since I play soccer year-round, I've never really had the opportunity because my time zone does not match with their time zone. So this would kind of give me the opportunity to get the best of both worlds, I guess you could say. So I know other kids probably feel the same.
Carmen, what field would you like to intern in?
I'm looking at 2 options right now. I really like physical therapy. So I've actually been going to physical therapy because I had a recent injury, and they told me that they do have a lot of people who come in and observe what they do and help them out and stuff. So that would be an option for me. Or I also like physician assistant maybe. And so there's a lot of places that I can go and observe with as well. I just don't really have the time.
Conversations that I'm having with administrators and students that have gone through programs in other schools is that there's a lot of abuse to the system. How do we prevent the abuse part of it? Because all of us would be in favor of you all getting more experience and being better prepared to be successful. How do we prevent that?
Well, I think the whole regulation process on this would be a whole lot stricter. I mean, like Susan said, the application process is going to be so extensive. We're taking this seriously. We don't want, I'm working for mom and dad to go home and, at noon just to lay on the couch. So basically, we're going to have the electronic timesheet that's going to monitor your hours weekly, along with the administrative position within the school that would be able to connect with the partnerships in the other areas, maybe weekly, depending on the circumstance, obviously, and just checking on progress there. So it would be extremely accessible to anything else you would like to see.
And what Henry Clay does, if the job that you're doing is not an internship and you're being paid for it, you submit your checks where they regulate and see how much you're earning, and that kind of shows how much you're earning by the hour, and they can see how many hours you're working there. And then also, if we wanted to make it more of a course where you do get a credit, you could even have an essay due at the end of the semester where you have everything you've learned from it and make it more applicable and how you're going to use this in the future if you wanted to give it just a little bit of extra, a little extra touch.
I think we're good.
All right.
Well done.